Fishing a flooded river tonight. Got the first hit after about 5 minutes. Just fishing 10 feet out in front of me. You only slack water for a long ways. So there's got to be cats here, I'm thinking. You know, I don't know why so many people are afraid to fish a flood, but the fish are still there. And usually cats still hit during it. Just got to find the eddies. Using cut bait on a 3-way slip sinker rig. Oh boy, he's ripping line. Gotta try and force him in. I'm glad I got him on the 30-pound rig. Just fishing for channel cats, but you never know what you're gonna get, really. Got a pike at night the other day, and you know, blues and flats aren't supposed to be here, but they could be. I know they're in this river. They're just very rare. They're introduced 10 years ago, I think. This is awesome. I love fishing floods. The water's about 4 or 5 feet above summer level right now. It's just raging. Chocolate milk, trees floating by, and catfish after about 5 minutes is just sitting here. See, the reason I love fishing floods is there's so much raging fast water that not all the fish, but a lot of the fish concentrate in the little slack waters that form right on the edge. You know, places where there aren't even normally water when the water gets low. This guy's really tugging. I don't know if it's the current or it's just him or what, but it feels kind of heavy. I don't know. Might just be the current. They really do pull hard in current. Let's all hope and pray this is a 20-pound channel. That would be awesome. Especially for a river fish. It'd mean it's a long, skinny one pretty much. River fish are usually lighter, it seems. Yeah, he's really tugging. I got him on 30 and he's taking drag. I got the drag tightened down pretty good. Not all the way. I got an old rig here, so I don't want to just want to play him safe. No, he's not even big. He's average size. Just must be the current. There is a really strong current right in front of me. I guess he's using it to his advantage here. He's a decent one. Maybe a hair above average. Maybe. First catfish is a skinny river channel cat. 28 3/4 and 8 1/4 pounds. Show him to you here. Alright, time to let him go. See how muddy this water is and all the sticks and stuff everywhere? You know, it's pretty much getting to flood stage. I absolutely love fishing super high water, especially for catfish. You know, I'm fishing, it's hard to show because it's very difficult to get good lighting at a distance at night for this camera, but I'm fishing probably 10 feet of slack water here before it turns into raging current. This is just a little guy. And I'm fishing right on the edge of that current break. That's where I'm casting my rig, just a couple feet downstream of me so it doesn't snag as easy. And I'm doing that just so the scent carries downstream a little better. Fishing right, and often they'll stack up right on the edge there, but in flood conditions they'll stack up in the edge and in the slack water. It's just a tight little space. Small catfish. Didn't bother weighing him. He's just 23 inches. Real skinny. Another fish. Try to elaborate a little bit on what exactly I'm trying to do here, what the point of it is. You know, it's not that there's hundreds of fish stacked up in these edge slack waters and outside the flood water. It's that there's like, I don't know, usually 5 to 15 catfish from my experience, or at least that's what I catch, and that's including the ones that push up, you know, new fresh fish that move in over the course of the night because they're moving around from one little eddy to another. But it's not because of that, you know, it's because there's 5 to 15 fish and they're stacked in a really tight spot. So, you know, while it lasts, it's usually really hot action. Like you just catch them out fast until you start thinning them out. Now these ones that are in the upper 20s are fighting more like low 30s tonight. They're fighting hard because of this current. Trying to Trying to not horse them, but just because of the current pretty much. Trying to take my time with them. They're not that big. Looking for a real big one. I'd love to see a mid-30s tonight. That'd be beautiful. This one's about 27 3/4, 7 1/4 pounds. Inch shorter and a pound lighter than the first fish. Let her go here. Feels like I'm already starting to thin them out, so I set up a second pole. I'm really in a tight little spot here though, so I'm hoping I don't cross lines. Only got about 10 feet ashore to walk. And this one has 15-pound test too, so it's going to be a challenge in this sort of current. If I get a decent one on this rod. This guy might be a decent one. He's pulling pretty hard. Yeah. He's chugging. It's not huge though. I'm making ground on him. It's a good sign. You know, that's the... I don't know what to say really. It's gonna be tough if you bring a light line rig like this with just 15 on it, especially in current like this. You know, I'm fishing them in the slack water right where it meets the fast water, but they only have to move a foot away from me before they're chugging along in the fast water for good, and that's when it gets tough. You know, like I said, I'm just using 3-way slip sinker rigs. I have a video on how I tie them. I'm using them with 7/0 circle hooks and cut bait. Real simple. You know, a lot of times I'll use a free line for cats too if I can get away with it, but the current's perpendicular to me right now, so that's just going to drift the bait out of the strike zone. I just fish a free line when I'm fishing a pool downstream of me pretty much. Right now I'm perpendicular, so using 3-way slip sinker rigs, even though I'm casting out only about 8 feet. Alright, got him up to shore here. Yeah, he's about the size of the other two. And now he's out of shore. I got this guy in just a tiny chunk of cut bait. You know, it's slowing down, but I'm getting a lot of little hits. I think it's just tiny cats. Just strange. I don't normally see a lot of tiny cats here. Or anywhere really on this river. Usually they're all like, I don't know. It's pretty typical to get a majority of them in the 25 to 30 range. Most days actually all of them are that size. Most of them are 26, 27, 28 inches with a healthy amount of 30s and a healthy amount of 25s, I guess, mixed in. There we go, beat you. Oh, nope, the log got in the way. Shoot. Pretty close. There we go. Gotcha. Yeah, he's another one about 27. Skinny. Whoa, there he goes. Here's another one, 28 3/4, just like the first one. Here we go. Haven't been here too long so far, and it's starting to get towards sunrise, so I might leave soon, I don't know. Well, that was a nice tail slab, jeez. I'm just fishing tiny bits of cut bait at this point because they're being picky. I think there's a turtle in here too though, because it took a bite out of one of the cut baits. So there's definitely a snapper in here, I think, mixed in with the cats. But, you know, there really aren't a lot of cats here tonight. There's more than 5, but they aren't super stacked. But you get the idea. It's just the same thing. Some days there's 5, some days there's 25. Usually around 10 in these little pockets. I switched over to fishing a free line, literally just to fish 5 feet away from me here. You can probably see the water I'm fishing in. That's how close it is to me. It drops right off. And the slack water only goes out about 10 feet. Well, not really the slack water, like the low current water. It's basically slack water compared to the stuff way out there, which is raging. So, you know, the advantage of this the 3-way slip sinker rig is I can fish it right on that current break, but you still lose them once in a while, especially in a place with big boulders like this and high current. It's tough. So I lost one rig and I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll just use the free line, and it's working still, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. This guy's feels decent too. I got 2 so far just under 29 inches, so decent ones, and one that was like A little over 27. Sorry that last one flopped right back in the water right away. That was kind of lame. I didn't have a good grip on him. Playing this drag like a fiddle. I'm just using these cheap spinning combos because I don't have money for an army of bait casters right now. This guy's fighting decent, but that doesn't necessarily mean a lot. Could even be a small one, you never know. Sometimes small ones have crazy attitude. Just judging from the weight though, he feels like around at least around the size of the other ones. At least in the 27 to 29 range, I'd guess. That'd be my guess. I don't know if this is gonna be a last fish or not. Might be. Slowing down for sure. First two fish were like 3 minutes apart. Then after that, it slowed down. Yeah, he's about the same size, in the same range. Upper 20s probably. Pushing 30. I got rid of that log so I can just beach him now. It's the best one of the night so far, just barely. Skinny 29.5 incher. A little above average, 8.5 pounds. So, quality channel cat, I guess. It'd be a lot heavier if it was a fat lake fish with eggs. But that's alright. Let her go here. Holy cow. This guy really bent the rod over when he took it. Man. This was a bigger piece of cut bait than the last one, but you know, it doesn't really matter. With the small pieces of cut bait, you get a mix of mostly small fish, but an average fish, but once in a while a big fish. With the big cut baits, you pretty much only get the big fish, depending how big you use, but you get the idea. That was funny. He was really ripping with it. Bending the rod all the way over. Right when I picked him up, I got these rods stuck in rod holders. You know, it was slowing down for a while. It was like I thinned him out, but more, like I said, more will move in, you know. If you stay here for a while, an hour later, 3 more might just pop in all of a sudden. You could get a double header. I had a double header at one point tonight, you know. Things got hectic. That's part of the reason I dropped that fish back in. I was just looking at the other rod and stuff. It was bending over and trying to deal with this fish and get it on camera, and it gets hectic, but I love it. Oh, this guy's wiggling pretty good too. They have such strong tails. Oh, it's hurting my forearm. Getting sore. Oh, this current makes them so hard to fight. I'm not making much ground on him because his rod bent over pretty good right now. He's just going back and forth right on the current break, right in front of me, about 10 feet out. Just like that last one. Just like all of them really, except for the tiny one, the 23 incher. Just pulled him right in, but all these other ones are taking some drag and really playing the current well. It's just about sunrise, so I'm going to leave at some point soon here. This might be the last fish. I might get another one before sunrise. I don't know. It's definitely picking up. This fish hit like 2 minutes, 3 minutes after I let that last fish go. See if I can beach him here quick. Yeah, he's just a smaller guy than the last one even. But he's fighting really hard for how small he was. It's probably like 26, 27 incher. This one's just a little over 27 inches. Didn't bother weighing him. Probably like 7.5 pounds or 8. In the 7 to 8 range. He's got a little bit more of a gut. Let him go here. Got a little guy on right after I casted it in. Starting to get light out and it's really turning on. Seems like. Quite a few hits here. Some of them are just picky ones. They're just hitting it and quitting it quick. That's funny. This guy just on a free line, size 4 bait holder hook. Tiny piece of cut bait, like the size of half my finger. Oh man. You know, didn't slam any numbers tonight and didn't get anything amazingly big, but Got some quality fish. Nothing to complain about for sure. For just shore fishing during a flood, or a near flood, whatever you want to call it. Very high water. Water's as brown as it could ever get, and there's logs floating down, and it's like 4 feet higher than it should be, so it's kind of a flood. If we can beach this guy early here. He's not as tiny as that one. He's not the smallest one, I don't think, but so he has a little bit of shoulder, enough to muscle back out a couple times, but he's still pretty small. There we go. He's about 25 3/4. Has this weird birthmark near his tail too, or whatever you call it. It's like it looks like a stain right there. Let him go here.